How you going, guys? Hope you've been having an amazing week this week. So this week I really want to talk to you about dealing with insecurities and building a confidence. So as you've realized, these things both interlink in your life, right? So the moments when you've been feeling a lot of insecurities, your confidence hasn't been going as high. And the moments when you have been having astounding confidence, your self-esteem has been high as well. So, how do I get this massive confidence and never worry about insecurities ever again? So I've got two things for you guys that personally helps me deal with any insecurities and just have this natural confidence that goes along with it, alright? So the first one is taking yourself out of it. First of all, I would like to tell you the two quick steps of doing it. So the first one was taking yourself out of it, any emotionals, anything that's got to do with you, take yourself out of it, right? The second one, write down at least 10 things, so 10 things that makes you different from anyone else. So whether it's you love the gym, whether it's you eat very healthy, whether if you're just very intellectually smart, or maybe just you're a very relaxed person that gets along with everyone else. Whatever it is, write down those 10 things that makes yourself different from someone else. And I'll tell you the reason why, okay? First of all, we all have insecurities. That's one thing as a human I've realized it just continues, whether you're a little kid to whether you're an adult that's working in a massive international bank, or even if it's a small business owner. Most people have insecurities, and I have not understood why we all have insecurities, but I'll let you know when I understand why we have insecurities. But it just right now it feels as though it's just the way it is. So the first step was taking yourself out of it. I'll give you a good situation for you to understand this, right? So let's create an external character called Josh, and now Josh is about to give public speaking in 5 minutes, okay? And in that 5 minutes, he's thinking about, as most people would, and even I did at the beginning stages, he's gonna be thinking, man, I don't want to stuff this up. He's gonna be thinking about, I don't want to look really bad in front of all these people, man. Like, there's a lot of people that are close to me, and I really care about what they think, and I just want it to be an amazing speech, okay? And the third, I mean, it depends on him, but we usually have a third just for the sake of it. So there's Josh. He's very nervous. He's worried about what people are gonna think. He's very just like all over the place with all his heartbeat going really high. And now there's Carolyn, right? And Carolyn's just like so excited to give out this speech. And you're wondering, this is the same external event. There's gonna be the same people out there. There's gonna be no change of crowd emotion. And there is nothing different except the fact that Josh is thinking totally different about what Caroline is thinking about. And let's just give a bit of a background. So let's just assume that Josh has never given public speaking for a long time, compared to Caroline that has been giving public speaking. And Caroline believes the fact that this is more important than worrying about herself, right? Compared to Josh, who is worried about how he perceives himself and how other people perceive himself, okay? So, to help Josh, what Caroline does is, he tells Josh, okay Josh, you're going to be out there, right? You're going to be giving this public speaking. Now, let's assume that you are already there, giving out this public speaking, this speech, whether it's towards raising funds for your business, giving a speech for your anniversary, or even just giving a speech as a best man speech or a birthday speech or whatever speech it is. You feel as though it's important, right? And you need to do this speech. So what Caroline tells Josh is, Josh, let's assume that you are part of the audience and you are there giving out the speech. How do you perceive yourself from a third person's point of view? And oftentimes it is very more positive than we actually think it is. And I mean, personally, it's happened to me. And let's just do an exercise to see the power of this exercise, okay? So let's assume a situation that you've had that you were very nervous about, or you just felt really insecure about, right? Let's just take a moment to think about it. So as we're thinking about this, instead of the usual focusing on what we have seen the world as, let's just take a step back and just watch ourselves doing the same exact body language, the speech, the same words that's coming out of our mouth. So everything's the same, right? But right now you're in the third person point of view. Does it show how much better it is compared to what we originally thought about? Does it make you feel more confident? Like, whoa, that person looks really confident, or like, whoa, I wish I could be this person, but really it's already you. And just observe yourself from a third perspective person. And let's just take a moment to sink that in. How does it feel? Does it feel as though you respect yourself more, and what other people perceive isn't what you perceive yourself to be? So now, as we have taken ourselves away from the situation, from the external force, and cut all the lines to any emotions, anything attached to this particular situation, we've taken it out and we've observed it. Now, let's start playing all the 10 things that's amazing about you, right? So as Josh, for example, we're using Josh as a scenario. So Josh might be very adventurous, he might be very intellectual, he might be he knows his understanding of how the world runs, the environment, and he loves to just have fun in life, and he's not very serious, okay? So those are things that make Josh very different to the rest of the people. And there'll be other person that will be very different to Josh. And that's the beauty of life, okay? We should never feel insecure about ourselves, because at the end of the day, we are who we are because we've spent a lot of time on particular things. And let's take this example back to school, okay? So this is again generalizing, and there might be people that are very intellectual at most things, but I know of no one at this current stage that knows everything in life. There'll always be someone that is better at other things compared to that certain person. So back in school, there used to be two kinds of people, as we all know, like pretend the jocks and the nerds. Now, when we put these two kinds of types of people in a group, and we put it into a sporting situation, pretend rugby or football, the jocks will always win because they've spent most of their life being the best at what they do best, and that is athletics. But the nerds will always win in anything intellectual, or if they have to learn about chemistry, maths, business, anything that's got to do with that, the nerds will most likely win at that current stage because they've spent a lot of time learning how to study the techniques of getting better marks in an exam. And in reality, the nerds aren't better than the jocks, and the jocks aren't better than the nerds. It's just the fact that each other, they're both good at different particular things. And even if we go into the jocks, for example, just jocks itself, there'll be a certain person that is more athletic than the other person, but the other person might be better in communicating compared to the other person, and the other person might be better at just team as a leader compared to being better than the other person in other things. And that's what I really like about life. It's the fact that everyone is good at something, and everyone can provide and give benefit to us in a different situation. And let's just take a particular meeting I was in this week, and I was having the same issues as some people do have, and I was in a meeting with very high intellectual people, And man, these guys knew their stuff. They knew everything about business, they knew everything about marketing, they knew everything about finance, they knew everything about how to communicate better. And I was just like, whoa, like, how the hell do I compete with that? That's just a massive competition. And I was like, okay. And like my whole meeting was just going downhill. Like I was just like, man, like what do I say? Like do I have to say something right this moment? But then I applied what I learned and what I've used throughout the years, and that was taking yourself out, cutting out all the attachments towards it, any emotions, anything, and just observe the situation. I was like, okay, PJ. So, as I can see, you're here with 8 other people, and these guys are highly intellectual, and they seem to be just answering everything in this particular meeting. And what will be the best outcome from a third person's point of view? And then I took a step back, and I was just thinking, okay, so what am I good at, and how can I contribute to this meeting? And I thought about it. Okay, so I'm very adventurous. I love gym. I love how the mind works. I love how about anything towards business. I love how communication works, how NLP works. I love anything that's got to do with the subconscious mind. And I was thinking, okay, so are we discussing any of these topics at the moment? And I was like, okay, no. Alright, so at this moment, I have nothing to contribute at this moment, so I don't need to talk about anything at that particular moment. And I will let these guys that know all this stuff talk it out and find out a solution to best present ourselves and to get the best outcome for this meeting. And that's how I normally do it. I take a step back, I realize what I'm good at and how I can contribute. So to summarize this presentation, 2 steps to building confidence and dealing with insecurities. First, take yourself out of the equation. Second, make sure you write those 10 things that makes you unique as an individual, as a person, compared to the rest of the people. And that's it, guys. Hope you have an amazing week. Catch you later.